We finally know what the daily rewards will be for the month of January. Let's talk about it. So this month, the member gear reward will be the Thrall of Ekron style. I have a video about the Thrall of Ekron style. I'll put a link to that video in the description down below. And the non-member gear will be the style of the Speed Force Spectrum style. Again, I have a video about that style as well. I will put a link in the description down below. And if you are subscribed to DC Online, and if you log in for 21 days, you will be able to claim the Tracer Detective Chest Guard style. Again, it is for subscribers only, and you have to log in for 21 days. Full disclosure, I had no memory of who that character was supposed to be. Basically, it is a character that's called Night Runner. It's basically a French Batman type character. Although he looks more like a cross between Spider-Man and Batman, or Deadpool and Batman, depending on how you want to look at it. Overall, it's not a bad looking style, but they went with the style of a pretty obscure character. Now I get that they might be trying to add some diversity to the game by having a French Albanian character, or the style of a French Albanian character. Although sadly very often that representation is a bit messed up. If you guys ever saw the Winter Soldier, the Captain America movie, The Winter Soldier, there are a bunch of French characters early in the film, and it was pretty cringe, I have to admit. Half the character didn't really speak French. They kind of mumbled something that kind of sort of sounded like it was supposed to be French. And the Batroc the Leaper is supposed to be again a guy from France, a French guy. And they did take a French guy, but they took a French guy from Quebec. For those who do not know, the French language in Quebec very different than the French language in France. It's pretty much like the American language versus the British language. Yeah, both speak English, but it's not at all the same English. The same was true for our friend Batroc the Leaper. Although casting Georges St-Pierre to play Batroc the Leaper did make a lot of sense, being the top mixed martial artist way back when at the time, it did make sense for him to play the Batroc the Leaper, who was pretty much a master of the savate. But it was a bit painful whenever the characters would actually speak. Another example, I guess, of cringe French dialogue was Gambit in the X-Men. Way back when Gambit was first introduced, I had no idea that he was supposed to speak French. Chris Claremont sometimes would try to kind of fake out having the character say a few words in French, but the syntax was all over the place. So whenever the character would quote unquote speak French, it made no freaking sense. It took me, I guess, I think 5 years to realize that Gambit was supposed to be speaking French, and it gave me a new perspective. Like whenever Colossus would speak Russian or Nightcrawler would speak German, I came to realize that odds are they were not really speaking Russians or German either. He was probably faking it out the same way he was faking it out with Gambit. Sadly, the issue with Gambit is that I actually knew the language, and it made no freaking sense most of the time. Although in the case of Night Runner, in case you're wondering, Night Runner means coureur nocturne in French. So in the case of Night Runner, from what I understand, it seems to be a self-insert character. So basically, the writer pretty much recreated himself as a Batman type character. So I assume that if the character was actually speaking French in the comics sometimes, I assume that the writer actually knew French. So odds are if the character did speak French in the comic, it actually made some kind of sense. But until I actually read some of those comics, we will never know. Sorry for the sidetrack. I guess some of you guys might enjoy some of that backstory. So anyway guys, so this is the rewards we will get for the month of January. So again, in 21 days, when we do get the 21-day rewards, I will make a video about it.